I'm going to show you how to find the right point of sale system for your bar or restaurant. With hundreds of point of sale systems out there, which one do you choose and how do you know it's right for you? I have worked with every one of these point of sale systems and I've learned a couple of tricks. Some of them are beginner point of sale systems. They'll probably last you a year. Then there are intermediate point of sale systems, and then there are advanced point of sale systems. And beyond that, there are even custom built point of sale systems that can really do everything you want, but we're talking big dollars there. So let's dive into some of these demos on these point of sale systems and show you which one's right for you. All right, so working with each one of these point of sales, I've learned a lot, but I have a lot of hands-on experience with them, and that's what I want to share with you. If you take a point of sale system and you put it in your business and you don't know how to use it to its fullest, or to use it to its max capacity, or to use it for what it's designed for, it's just going to be a glorified calculator. And that can cost you lots of money. Secondly, and this is what we do, we support you in your business. When we do an install, we come on site, we stay with you for a day or two or even 3 for a go live to make sure your staff knows how to use the system, that the menu's built properly, and that you have a team behind you that's going to help you drive your business to the next level. So working with partners like us, we are here, we are your first line of defense, and we are on your side. So we eliminate that 1-800 support that you have to call and you wait on the phone forever with. You call us, you text us. I have clients that text us, hey, add an employee, and we get in there, we knock it out for them, and they can stay focused on what they need rather than putting everything down to do minor tasks. So working with a partner, we can help you do that. So give us a call and let's see what we can do for you.
SkyTab point of sale demo. Here is the home screen. You have your pin pad right on the right hand side. To the left, you have 2 tabs, online orders. So you can see any online orders, and I'll show you how that looks. So just a quick demo of the online ordering. Somebody comes in here, they're gonna click on your chicken wings. We're gonna choose their first wing sauce, we're gonna choose our second wing sauce, and then if they want any additional sauces, they can add that for an additional cost. We'll add that to order. Now we'll scroll down here to, let's do a bacon burger. So we'll click on the bacon burger. We want it cooked medium rare, we'll do medium. We'll do cheddar cheese. We want barbecue ketchup, mayo, and ranch, why not? Do we want to add additional cheese? Let's add additional cheese. Here is pepper jack. We'll save that. And then do we want to add a side or take what it comes with? So we can continue and add that to the order. We will now hit the checkout button. We'll enter in my name. Here you can see the online order was placed and you can manage it accordingly. And then next to that, you have item tracking. So if you want to see what's going on in your business, how your counts are doing, you'll have access to that right here. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is clock in an employee. So first thing we'll do is enter our PIN number. Now it's gonna ask us if we're gonna be a drawer user or if we're gonna carry our own purse. So if we're gonna go ahead and select use a cash drawer, we set on the back end to use $250 as the default amount for a drawer. You can override that with settings on the back if you want them to be able to change it manually, or it'll automatically always default to that for tracking purposes. So we'll go ahead and hit continue. All right, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is the host and what options they have as serving customers and seating customers. You'll notice right away, you have a reservations button. This is where your staff can add reservations. If somebody calls in and wants to make a reservation for tonight, we'll go ahead and we'll hit the add entry button. We're gonna type in the customer's name, Rose, and she's gonna have a party of 6 for this evening. We're gonna select the date, the time, 5:30 p.m. and we'll save that. So we're gonna go ahead and enter in her phone number, and we're gonna select how she wants to receive notifications, call or via text message. And then any other additional notes. It'll be a birthday party. All right, we can go ahead and now save that. So now we know when we come to reservations, we'll see the list to the left, and you'll have your calendar selection there as well. Now let's go back to the host settings. So we're gonna go back and click on new guest. So when a customer walks in, they're gonna come up to the host server stand. We're gonna type in their name. We're gonna say Brad is here. Brad has a party of 4, but say if Brad had a party of 15, we can select the end at the end, and we can type in a larger party if we so desire. But for the demo, we won't do that. We'll just go back, set him as a table of 4, and we're gonna hit the add to waitlist button. Here it's gonna ask us again for his phone number. And we will hit OK. Now we're gonna say Brad wants a booth, so we're gonna set him at table 3. So we're gonna assign him to table 3. Now as that table becomes available, we can select Brad. We're gonna send a notification to him, and he has been notified that his table is ready to please come to the host stand. And then we're gonna go ahead and seat Brad at table 3. So table 3 has now been assigned to Brad, and we can open that ticket. So going back to the host stand, you'll have access to seeing what is going on throughout the day. So if the table is in use, you'll see the orange line there. If a table is dirty, it'll look like this, it'll be red, and that way your busters will know that that needs to be cleaned before it becomes available. To simply clean and make that adjustment, you just select the table and you hit the clean button at the bottom. Now your servers can see the different rooms and the different tables available and then seat them accordingly. On this screen, this is what your servers will see. So a couple things we're going to overview real quick. If they select on any of the open tabs, which we have just the one for Brad, which we just seated, off to the left, you'll see how many seats are at that table for a quick overview. Down below those seats, you'll see open ticket. This allows you to open it and edit the ticket. We'll go over that next. Manage ticket allows you to split items between seats and transfer items from one table to the next. You can also take a quick payment if there's items tied to it. Transfer it. This one is for transferring this ticket to a whole new server if an employee is clocking out. And then you have the void. You have your table layout, so you can go and click back on that and return there. Let's go in and talk about the settings here. So we're going to go ahead and hit open ticket. So if we are going to do a shared item between all the tables, so let's say everybody at the table is going to share the spinach and artichoke dip, we select the table at the top. Then after that, we can take individual drinks for the individual seats. So seat number 1 wants to get a club soda. Seat number 2, we're going to also do a soda, but they're going to do a Dr. Pepper. But they want no ice on theirs, so we can do no ice. You can also make that a modifier, so it's just a quick press, but we're going to type in that special request just to show you how it works. We're going to do another one here. This customer wants lemonade, and seat number 4 wants iced tea. Here is how your modifiers work, so we're going to go ahead and do unsweet, and then we're going to hit up here. You'll see send and continue. A couple things to note. We can hold that button down and you'll have additional options where you can send and stay, which means those drinks will get sent to maybe you have a person who preps drinks. They'll get the printout and they can quickly bring the drinks to the table while the server continues to take orders. Send and continue will close out that tab and that server can walk back there, get the drinks, and then come back and continue to take the order. Then you have send and new, which will automatically open you into a new tab, and then send and log out so that you can close out the screen. So we're going to go ahead and hit send and stay on this one so that we can then take food orders. So we're going to hit seat number 1. Seat number 1 wants to go ahead and order a We're going to do a BLT. We're going to do, they don't want bacon, and they want French fries on the side. Then we're going to hit seat number 2. Seat number 2 also wants to do a burger. We're going to do a Swiss. We're going to do lettuce, tomato, onion. They want the burger cooked medium. And they want ketchup, mayo, mustard, and ranch. Then we're going to go to seat number 3. Seat number 3 is still deciding on what they want. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold down the double burger button. And we can explain to them what is on this burger. 2 quarter-pound beef patties, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and shack sauce. So you can read that to them. Since we're on the screen, if you wanted to add a quantity, you could say there's 10 of these available. And it'll give you a number on there. So if we go off of that screen and back in, you'll see it has been updated to 10. Let's cancel that and let's go back to that menu. So we're going to hold that down again. We're going to go ahead and edit the quantity on hand. We're going to just clear it out, hit OK, hold that down, and we're going to make it available, and done. So now if we click off and on, you'll know it's back to going on. So now we're going to go ahead and add that double burger to seat number 3. We're going to go ahead and hit medium. They want cheddar and cheddar. They want ketchup, mayo. They want lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and the sauce. And if they want their side to be sweet potato fries, we'll add that. And then you have additional options which are not required, a lettuce wrap or a gluten-free bun. So we'll go ahead and hit gluten-free bun, and then we'll move to seat number 4. Now, as I'm scrolling up and down, just a simple tap with the finger where you can slide and see the different seats. We're going to go to seat number 4. Seat number 4 wants a pizza. They're going to build their own. Now in here, you have a bunch of different options. So select your cheese for the pizza. We're going to do mozzarella. The whole pizza, we're going to click the meat option, and it'll give you additional choices here. So they want grilled chicken on this one. We're going to also add vegetables. So we're going to add mushrooms, bell pepper, zucchini, black olives. And why not? Let's add artichokes on there. Left half, let's just say they want some shrimp on their side. And then you can add vegetables to just the left half if you so desire, or even additional cheese. They want Parmesan on the left half. Then you can do your right side toppings, which we'll just leave as the original, and then additional oils if you want to add those, and suggested appetizers to go with it for your upsells and add-ons. So a couple of things to note in here. You still have your special requests. Now if we want to go ahead and duplicate an item, let's say seat number 3 wants to duplicate another one of these, you can hit that button, which will now add 2 of those. If we want to remove that item, we can hit that remove button as well. So we also have coursing. If you set up your station or your business for coursing, you'll have those options as well. Now you also have a couple of hold buttons. So if you want to hold an item, you can select that so it won't be sent to the kitchen until you unhold it and send it off. So we'll go ahead and undo that. We're going to go ahead and hit send and continue. Table number 3 has been sent. If we click on that table once, we can see everything in there. As you see, it's all in red because I don't have a printer attached to it, but it has been sent off and is being made. Another thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to the table layout. So one more thing we're going to do is we're going to show you table number 3. We're going to click on that, and you'll see over to the left there is tickets open on that. So we're going to hit that open ticket. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to hit the manage button. So we're going to manage this ticket, and we're going to hit the split by seat. If I hit that button, as you noticed, the artichoke dip automatically gets split between all 4 seats, and then everybody from their different tickets get assigned the items that were attached to that. But let's say we didn't want to do that. We're going to go ahead and hit undo, and we want to just split it. So now you've got 2 tickets here, and we drag and select items and move them over. So if we want to move seat 2 to seat ticket 2, we can do that by clicking there. We can scroll down here, and we're going to move seat 4 as well to the new tab. Now it's all split in there. Now you have 2 different tickets. We can save and see that you have 2 tickets that are tied to table 3, 8002-2 and 8002-1. We're going to go ahead and double click on these. We're going to manage those tickets. We're going to combine those tickets, and now it's all back under one. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. Alrighty, so one more time, we're going to open that ticket. We're going to take payment here, and we are going to hit cash on that one. Done. So now that customer has been paid out, and you are ready to roll to the next table. Now let's say that server has an order come in directly to them. They bypass the host station. You have the option on the back end to set it where you require a guest count. So if there's 3 guests, when you hit 3, it automatically adds 3 seats to this table. So we're going to scroll down here. They're going to come in for their drinks. We're going to go scroll down to tequila, add a couple of items, and we're going to do a double. We're going to add a twist, and we're going to go ahead and add juice and select our juices to it. And then we are going to send and continue. It tells us if we didn't add any required modifiers to a couple of these items, we have to go back and select those. And you'll see over here to the left, there are items that have requirements tied to them. So now we're going to go ahead and hit rocks. We're going to hit chaser, and so we've hit the rocks and chaser. And after we've done that, you'll notice that the red required has been removed. Next, we're going to select on this one. We're going to do a double, and the requirement has then been cleared out. So we're going to hit send and continue. Now on the back end, we've also tied this to require a name if they're not seated at a table. So we're going to go ahead and call this one Gene. And we're going to save that, and now Gene's tab has been opened. We're going to open that one. We're going to manage this ticket. We're going to split this by seat. We're going to save that now. So now you have 3 different tickets for 8003, and you'll see at the end 1, 2, and 3, so you can take payment accordingly. We're going to do the quick payment. In here, you have a couple of things you can take a look at. We have cash, we have check, we have credit, you have gift card, gift certificate, house account, and walkout. So on the house account, you can say some of your favorite customers or your special customers, you'll allow them to spend up to $100 on a house account before you require payment. So they can come back 5, 6, 7 times. And as long as you have them tied to a house account by their phone number, you can build that out. So if we hit house account, a customer must be attached to this to take payment items. So what we're going to do is it's going to pull up your customer base, and you can search that. We'll go ahead and select this one, and then we can go ahead and add that to a house account. So we're done on that one. No receipt. Now you have 2 open tickets. We're going to take the quick payment. We're going to do cash. Done. No receipt. And the last ticket, we are going to take payment. We're going to do cash again, and done. No receipt. Alrighty, so we'll go over a couple of last settings on this system. We're going to go under Manager. So here you can see everything that happened with the individual drawers throughout the day. You can base it on individual employees and make adjustments, print out reports, see how they're doing throughout the day. You'll notice here that they have a head count of 11 guests. Scroll down a little further, you can see their net sales, taxes, surcharges, cash summary of what was put in the drawer, and then your net sales liabilities throughout there. Next, we'll go ahead and click on end of day. So your management at the end of the day will come in here. They say, okay, we have no open tickets. All the tips on the credit cards have been adjusted. We need to close 1 drawer, and we have 2 employees that are clocked in that need to be clocked out. The next thing we're going to click on is the settings. Under settings, you can make menu adjustments for on-the-fly changes. I do recommend using the back office for your menu change, but in case you need to do quick changes, you are able to for your different departments and the different items assigned to it. You'll also have your individual items. If you need to make your quick price changes, you can do that. If you want to add in costs, that's available as well. And then you have additional structures under here for how those items are sold. If they're sold by weight or quantity, your accounting practices, if you want to track certain things. You have a lot of different things, mainly for an additional video that we should do, but in here there's lots of options. You'll have your modifier sets and then your individual modifier items that you can create groups on. Tags. Now, if you're going to create special weekly items, you can create them and then tag them to like a fast bar or a Tuesday special. You'll create that item, that tag in here, and then you'll select your items and tie it to it. Favorites. If you hold down the long item, if you do a long hold on an item, you'll see a heart pop up and you'll have your favorite items. So you can see things. You can quickly add them to menus and make adjustments according. Your staff wants to see what are favorite sellers. You have access to that. Your coursing, you also have under coursing a way to build it up through this system. Again, something for another video. And then your scheduled pricing, which is now done on the back of house, but you have access to scheduling different prices, your happy hours, your one-off sales. You can set that up in the back of the system. We're going to hit back. Now you have your accounting. You can set up your taxes, your surcharges, your gratuities. We'll hit the gratuities here. Gratuity automatically applies 20% to a table of 5 or more. Your taxes. We're going to go ahead and hit back. You can see your ticket rules. How do you want to organize your tickets? Do you want to roll them over if you're a quick serve restaurant? You can do that. Your different types of payment options and your discounts. So if you have multiple discounts, you can make adjustments in here or quickly add something that you forgot. You also have access to your users. So here's your roles, and here is their security, the things they're allowed to do on the front end or the back end. As we discussed on the front end, maybe your bartenders would prefer to have save and stay as their main button, but then if they want to close it out, they have to sit, save, and hold it and hit save and continue. You can make those changes for individual servers. When they log in, your back of house, for example, only has time clock mode, but you also have additional settings for different type of roles. Your bartenders are going to have counter service, where your servers will be table service, and also you have your host service in there as well. You have your default order types. This is more just for tracking your different types of revenue, and you can run through those. And then you have your different employees, and you can set up their roles individually. Profile details, you can add their health card, their liquor licenses, anything along those lines. Under your business settings, you can make adjustments here. This is where we have our gas tour set to default to 250, and you can check any of these sliders to adjust things as you see fit. Advanced settings, you want to set your credit card limits, your tip limits. You want to do tips globally, or if you want to enable tip reduction, so that if customers are paying tips with credit card and you don't want to pay that fee, you can enter that in here. Let's just say it's 4%. We're going to go ahead and add that. So now we reduce tips by 4%. That way you're not paying the fee on your customers, on the tips that you are being charged. So we can go ahead and hit save in the bottom right. We'll go to our customers. This is if you're doing loyalty. You want to set quick buttons so that it speeds things up. They'll always be able to override them, but it just speeds it up when you're entering things. If you know you're from Denver, Denver's going to pop up, saves you typing it in. Your labor, when do you want to do your payroll? How often do you want to do your payroll? Breaks, are they paid or not paid? All things that can be set up and adjusted. So here's your void reasons. Why are you voiding things out? Why are things being discounted? You have your printing, marketplace, additional settings, and loyalty and advantage options. So lots of quick settings. All of it can be done on the back of house, but this is SkyTab for you real quick. And then lastly, if you're adding, editing, or adjusting hardware, typically you never mess with this. Once it's set up, when we install it, you don't have to touch it. But this is what that button does for you. Here we have our SmartTab point of sale demo on the home screen here. This is where the employees clock in. We're going to go ahead and use our fingerprint on this system and clock right in. Now, as I am a manager and a bartender on this system, I can select which role I want to clock in as. So we're going to go ahead and select manager, and then we'll hit done. And then you'll see up here at the top that I am shift scheduled for 11:30 to 7:30 p.m. as the manager. We're going to go ahead and hit done and cancel this, and then we'll go ahead and clock in again, but this time we're going to select bartender. And now you'll see that my bartender shift doesn't begin until 7:30 to 1 a.m. after my management shift. So we're going to go ahead and cancel this. We're going to go ahead and go back and fingerprint on that. We're going to hit the manager, and we're going to hit done, and now we're going to go ahead and clock in. So now we are clocked in. Now we're going to go ahead and put our fingerprint on the scanner one more time. Now that we're clocked in, a couple things to notice. On the left-hand side, you'll see a couple of tabs. Those are the most recent ones that were used. The first one is in red, means it's been closed out. Rose and Haley Valentine are tabs that are still open, and items can be added to them. Next, right in the center, you'll have all your categories of your different items, and that is scrollable, so you can scroll that up and down. And now we're going to take our customer's credit card. We're going to go ahead and slide it into the chip reader on the side of the station. It's going to turn from red to green. Once it turns green, you can pull that card out, and you can give that card back to the customer. The tab has now been tied to that card. The next thing we're going to do is add a couple of items to this customer's tab. We'll bring up a Tito's and a Long Island. We're going to go ahead and hit credit just to show you that the card has been tied to it. Back out of here, down in the bottom left, you'll see the yellow pop up and then disappear. Now you see that the pre-auth has happened. We're going to go ahead and add a couple more items to show you that an incremental auth is going to happen as well. So once we ring those up, we give it a second here and it'll update. And there you have it. The $16 now became $33 and the incremental authorization has happened. Go ahead and add a few more items, but this time let's use the search function. We're going to go ahead and type in hurricane, Hurr. As soon as we type it in, you'll see it reduces until it finds it. Let's go ahead and hold down on the hurricane, long press on there. A new bartender who doesn't know how to make it. If you set it up on the back end, you'll have access to the ingredients list. To build that out, you'll be able to include a product image if so desire, and also prep notes so your bartenders can make the drink accordingly. Also, when you long hold on an item, you can add an account. So if you only have 10 of an item, you can add that here, or you can disable the item because you're out of ingredients. Once you do that, it makes it impossible to add to the ticket, so you have to go ahead, go back in there. We'll uncheck that, and now it's available for order. So we're going to go ahead and send that to tab. All right, so Nick has now come back up to the counter. A few of his friends arrived, and he wants to order a few beers for them. So we're going to find Nick's tab by clicking on the tab button. We are going to go ahead and search it, even though there's only a few, but we'll do it anyway. So NICK, his name comes up. It's the only tab there. We're going to go ahead and clear that out just to show you some other ways. Off to the right-hand side, you'll see the alphabetical list. Anything that has a letter tied to it or a name tied to it that is available is highlighted in a lighter color. And we're going to go ahead and select on N. And anything with an N in the first or last name, first letter of the first or last name will pull up. We're going to drop that filter. And then there's one more way to search. There's going to be this little icon in the top right that changes it from the squares to the list view. You can search it by tab number. You can search it by first name, last name, table name if you're using tables, a value, a price if you know what you're looking for, which is good to find if you're looking for a closed item, the input method, or the card number. So another quick way is if you can always type in a number. So we're going to do 2953, and you'll see Sammy's card's tied to that. But we're going to go ahead and clear that. We're going to double tap on Nick's tab. He wants to order a couple of beers for his friends, so we're going to come over here and we're going to hit Blue Moon. But we're going to go ahead and add a quantity by using the number column in the center. We're going to add 4 of those, and then we're going to send that to tab. After Nick comes up, Phoebe's standing in line, so we're going to find Phoebe's tab. We're going to open up Phoebe's tab, double tap. and now her tab is open. We know Phoebe loves our happy hour pricing, so she's asking us what else do we have on happy hour. So we're going to click the HH in the top right hand, and that's going to show you a list of all the items that are available. So we're going to go ahead and hit Heineken, and we're going to go 2 of those, and we're going to send that to tab. So we're going to do a couple more things. We're going to look at Sammy's tab here. We're going to open it up. You'll see in the top left-hand side that there's a little 1 that will tell you how many times that card has been used at this location. If we click on that silhouette, it'll tell us a bunch of things about Sammy. How many times that card has been used. His average ticket is $16. His average tip is crap, and his total spend is $16. So only being in here one time previously, you can get an idea of what he's looking for. Let's close his tab, and let's find another one here. Katrina's been in here before. We're going to open her tab. She's had 2 visits. Her average ticket is $68. Her tip percent is way better. We like her a little more, and her total spend is $137. So you can get to know your customers. You'll also be able to see their top 5 items that they purchase. Let's talk about seating and table service. So we're going to go ahead and clock in. You'll see that we have it set up so that servers automatically come to the table section. So we're going to go ahead and select on the lounge, and we're going to select table number 15. We're going to go ahead and scroll down here. We're going to start taking orders. So we're going to select seat number 1, and we're going to take their drinks. Seat number 1 wants orange juice. Seat number 2 would like pineapple juice. And seat number 3 would like cranberry juice. Now we're going to go back up to seat number 1, and we're going to start ordering food. So seat number 1 wants to build an omelet. He wants cheddar cheese to go with it, and he wants rye bread, and then he also wants 3 ingredients. So we're going to choose the first one, which is bacon. Second one, we're going to choose is mushroom, and the third one will be spinach. But they also want to add in additional items. So in the top center, you'll see the non-forced items. We're going to select that, and now we can add the additional items at an extra cost. So we're going to choose bell pepper, and we're going to choose tomato to go with that omelet. Once we're done with that, we can add ranch-style potatoes, and we're going to go ahead and hit done from here. Now we're going to select seat number 2. Seat number 2 wants the French toast. They want it on wheat bread, and they want blueberries and strawberries to go with it. So we'll hit done on that one. Now we'll select seat number 3. Seat number 3 is also going to have pancakes here. They want the gluten-free pancakes, and they want peaches on top of that one. We also have additional choices, so if they want any modifiers, so they want the hash browns to go with their pancakes. So we're going to go ahead and hit done on that one, and now we can go ahead and send that to tab. Now we see that table number 15 is highlighted blue. If we want to reopen that table, we can go ahead and select on that one, and there's the tab. If these guys are ready to pay out now, we can hit the split payment button in the top center. And you'll see it's already broken down based on seats. So seat number 1 is going to pay for theirs in cash. Seat number 2 is going to pay for theirs in credit card. And seat number 3 is also going to add card to theirs as well. So we're going to hit credit on that one. And now all 3 of them have been paid. Let's talk about coursing for a minute here. So we're going to go ahead and open table number 20. We have the option to set coursing on the back end, but we can also do it on the front end here. So we're going to hit the edit button, and you'll see there's a coursing checkbox right there. So we're going to select that. We're going to type in a test name while we're here, and now you have coursing. So coursing 0 is typically for your drinks and anything that you want to send right away and get to the table quickly. Then you can select course number 1. So course number 1, again, same thing. We're going to do tacos. Course number 1, we want to do corn. We want to do chicken, and we're going to done. We're going to say they want 5 chicken tacos. Then we're going to go ahead and hit the dinner one. We're going to change that to course number 2. And for dinner, they want the ribeye. They want the 10-ounce ribeye, and they want it medium rare. And they want a side of french fries to go with it. So we're going to hit that and done. So now we have course number 1, course number 2. Course number 3, we can go ahead and let's add a shrimp basket to that just because we're here. So we can hit the send to tab and fire, which will send the drinks and course 1. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Now the drinks and course 1 have been sent. We're going to open up table 20 again. We're going to hit the course. We can see course 1 is closed off. We cannot add anything to it, even if we try. So cannot add product to a fired course. So we know course 2 is ready to be fired. So we're going to fire course number 2. And then course number 3, as soon as it's ready, we can select on that and fire course number 3 as well. So plenty of ways to build out and send coursing, plenty of ways to seat customers at the table and serve them. Also, one thing to note up here is you'll see in the top right hand, there's a shrimp basket, $12.48. You'll see a C number and a 3. Same thing with each additional item in there, 1, 2, and 3, and those will print in the kitchen as well. We have one of our customers coming back up to the counter. They want to close out their tab. He tells us that his last name is Lynch's, so we're going to hit our tabs, and we're going to type in Lynch's, L-Y, and we can see his name there. But we're also going to say he came up to the bartender with his card in hand. We're going to go ahead and just chip insert his card. It's going to turn green. It's going to pull it up, and you can see his tab is instantly pulled just by reading that chip read. So one of my favorite things about SmartTab is having the chip read and the benefits it is to speeding up service. We're going to also create a split payment for Jeffrey here. So we're going to hit the split payment button. So we're going to add another split. If we add 2 splits, you can see it automatically and evenly splits the tab. And if we want to add a third split, we can do that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove those. We're going to select seat number 1, and we're just going to select 3 items. And you'll see it automatically puts those items on seat 1, and the remainder go on seat 2. If we highlight seat number 2, we're going to put the next 3 items on that. It creates another third tab. And if we want to go ahead and split those 2 between the last 2 people, you can do it evenly, or we can add one specific item and break it up. So quick ways to split and share tabs or break them off. So now we're going to go ahead and hit credit. First one, we're going to go ahead and hit Jeffrey's card because it's already tied to it. So we're going to select Jeffrey's credit and hit done. Second one's going to be cash. Third one's going to be cash. And the last one here, we're going to go ahead and hit credit on that one. And we're going to chip read another card. Turns red, then green, and it's processing, and that one is now paid out. come to the end of our shift and it's time to tip out. So we notice on the screen there's orange tabs. That means that there's tips that need to be closed. So an easy way to do this is you can individually tap on those if you want, but we're going to go into the tabs. So this is how you're going to clear out of the house at the end of the night. You're going to hit your pending tabs right in the center. And now, if you see these receipts that I have here, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to take the numbers off the top of them and type them in. So the first one we have is 25, so we're going to hit 25. It automatically opens that up and it lets us enter the tip here. Now, there's two ways to do it. We can go ahead and enter in a $10 tip, or if the customer did math on us, we can back that out and we're going to hit $35 and it does the math for us. So we're going to add tip. Now, since we over tipped on this one or had an excessive tip amount, something that's not normal for the business, we have it set on the back end to give us alert. So now we can verify that the number we entered is correct and we can proceed, or we can hit the no and adjust tip and go back in there and adjust that tip. So we'll go to the next one. It automatically pulls up the number pad. So the next ticket is 10. So we're going to select 10. We're going to add a $3 tip, add tip. We're going to select the next receipt, 14. We're going to add a $5 tip, and we're going to select the last one, 9, and we're going to hit a $9 tip, add tip. Now, there's an additional 7 tips, so those either belong to someone else or we lost the ticket. So we're going to go ahead and select on those pending. We can see that there are 7 tickets that still need to be tabbed out. So what we can do is double tap on those. We're going to go ahead and add a 0 tip and go to the next one. Double tap, 0 tip. We can double tap on the next one and 0 tip. Also, in the top right hand, if we have it set up in the back office for management, let's say they left their tab open and you have a sign that says all tabs left open will be closed with a 20% tip. You can hit this little button in the top right hand corner and it'll ask you automatically close all smart tabs now, and we can hit submit. And now all the tabs have been moved to the closed. Let's look at the closed tabs. We're going to select on any one of those and we're just going to double tap it. When you double tap it, you have a couple options here. You can do a refund, which will go back and open the tab again. You can do a partial refund. Here's where we're going to just partially refund it. You can adjust the tip before the end of day batch. You can reprint the signature slip, or you can reprint the full itemized receipt. So you have a lot of functionality with SmartTab, with speed, accuracy, and getting what you need out of a system when you're in a high volume, high velocity place. All right, here we have Toast Point of Sale. This screen is the clock in screen, so you'll be able to use your time clock. If you enter your code and hit time clock over here on the left, you'll be able to choose your roles. So if you have multiple roles, server, bartender, manager, depending on what you are logging in as, that is where you would select it, and then you'd select clock in. Alrighty, so now that we have login, we're gonna go ahead and actually log into the system. But the first thing you're gonna notice here is up at the top, you'll see the first 2 rows. These are gonna be your main categories, and then below those, you'll have another 2 rows, which will be your subcategories. Finally, at the very bottom, you'll have your actual items. But we're gonna go ahead and click on tab name, and we're gonna go ahead and start a tab and set tab name. So now we have this tab has been started, and we are going to go ahead and add items to it. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to select on our cocktail. Now, a couple things to note here. We're going to go ahead and select on the Sex on the Beach, and it brings up the modifiers. You can do your Red Bull bump. You can increase them by clicking the plus icon in the top middle. Let's say you've already added 3 of those and you want to buy another round. You will highlight the same thing again. You hit the repeat button, and now it adds 3 more of those. So let's go into the Raspberry tea. We're going to hold that button down, and we're going to enter the quick edit mode. This allows us to mark it out of stock. We can set the quantity, and you can also rename it for the point of sale or the button and change the price. So now we're going to go ahead and hit done. We're going to go ahead and save and continue, and you will now see right here on Raspberry tea, there are 12 of them added. And as we keep adding them to this list, they are reduced. One more thing we're going to do while we are on this screen, we're going to go ahead and click on it on the left, and up here in the top right, you'll see a details button. This is where you can see the ingredients for the drink. If you have new bartenders, you can pull that up and it'll break it down so that they know what it is made of. This requires a little bit of setup on the back end, but you can also add a picture if you have a specific picture of how you want it to work. Maybe you have a special glass for certain drinks, or seasonal specials, tiki glasses, things like that. You can really break it down so that the bartenders know what it looks like. So now that we've got this added, we can go ahead and we can add a special request to this. So we want to go ahead and say we want tiki glass. And since it's a special, maybe it's a souvenir, we're going to go ahead and add $2 to that drink. Now you have it over there marked, tiki glass, $2. Alrighty, so we're going to do one more thing on here. We're going to show you the starting a tab with a customer's credit card. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit our juice and soda. We're going to hit our soda. We're going to go ahead and add our soda water to the tab here in the top left. You'll see under Morgan. We're going to go ahead and send that tab to Morgan. And we're going to come up here, click the all checks, and we're going to open up all the tabs and find Morgan's tab. Alright, so here we have Morgan's tab. We're going to go ahead and select. Now you can see right over here in the bottom that we have pre-authorized the card. So it is going to track that card through the sale. Now we're going to go ahead and continue on with that and make the payment from a card. Go ahead and select the card that is saved in the blue button up at the top right. We're going to go ahead and choose a $2 tip here. This is the tip screen, which this is a customer facing screen. So this is what it'll show you. Customer selects the $2 tip and then signs it at the very bottom there. Go ahead and hit done. Perfect. It's going to process it because of the way we're connected. We're going to go ahead and hit process in the background here. We're going to go ahead and hit process offline, which will let you know it's a little bit of risk. And then we're going to go ahead and choose the receipt type. So I'm going to go ahead and text it to me. So we'll have a text picture, and I'll load in my phone number here. Go ahead and send the ticket. It has been paid, and it has been closed out. Now let's pull up the ticket. This is what the receipt looks like when it was sent to my text. And there you have it, the breakdown of the receipt. using a pre-authorized credit card that was stored when we started the tab. Now we're going to break down the receipt onto the left. We're going to go ahead and you'll see down at the bottom, we can hit stay, add them to the ticket, or we can send them, which we'll do here, and that sends the ticket to the tab. So now we're going to go ahead and hit the all checks button in the top right. We're going to go ahead and find that tab. It should be the most recent one there. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and hit the update. Now we're back into that tab. So if we want to repeat a couple of things, we're going to go ahead and repeat these 2 items. We've added them to the list. We're going to hit the stay button. They have been permanently added to the tab. We are going to now look at the split a ticket option, which you'll see at the top of the ticket on the left. There's split. We'll hit that. We can select the items, and we can move those to the new check just by tapping on it. We're going to go ahead and select a couple more items here. We'll add them to a new check. And then just for kicks, we're going to select raspberry tea. We're going to split this evenly here. It's going to ask us how many different ways we want to split it. We want to split that 3 ways. We're going to hit done. So now it breaks that item up into 3 different tickets. And we're going to go ahead and separate that onto each tab. We're going to go ahead and hit done here. Then we're going to hit the all checks button in the top right. Now you'll see that we have the 3 tickets here. A couple more things. We're going to go ahead and make this a little easier. We're going to go, you can filter by most recent, which will put them at the top. So there's our tabs again. So we've got our breakdown 1, 2, and 3. You can filter them by me or my role. Quick orders, table orders, online orders, and then where the order was taken. Super way to sort and find tabs. If we hit the search button in the top right, we want to go ahead and type a name in. It'll pull in those tabs with that name on it. So as I've started these tabs and they're mine, probably should have named them something different. We have them there as well. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that. We're going to hit the check number, and then we're going to pull most recent. You see our 3 different tabs. We're going to go ahead and double tap on that one, and it opens it up. And there we have that tab that can be paid. So we will go ahead and hit pay. It automatically gives us a rounded number of 18, closest dollar amount to the total, or we can hit the 20 and the 50. And we can also swipe a card, mark it as a walkout, some other different ways to track it. So we're going to go ahead and just hit cash right there. Pulls up the receipt, printed receipt, a no receipt, or we can void it from the screen and undo that. Let's go ahead and do that once. Brings us back to that screen. Once we take the actual cash on that one and mark the receipt, choose the receipt, it closes it, and it is now tied to that item. So now we're done with that tab. We can go ahead and open the other tab. So we've got the other one here. We're going to go ahead and hit the update button, brings us to the tab. This one, we're going to go ahead and hit the discount button. We can apply it to all items or apply it to the whole check. For kicks, we'll just go ahead and apply it to some items in there. And we're going to go ahead and hit that discount again. We're going to do manager comp item. So we've taken that entire item off the ticket, and it has been reduced. We're going to go ahead and pay that tab. We'll go ahead and hit the cash on here. No receipt, and done. So quick ways to move through those tabs. Now we're going to show you how to transfer tabs. So we're going to go ahead and open up on all the checks. We're going to go ahead and select on, let's just go ahead and number 3 here. We're going to go ahead and hit update. You'll see in the top left, there's a dining option and, well, my name, the employee's name. We're going to tap on that. We're going to change the server. So anybody who's clocked in, you can transfer that tab to. So you'd select their name and transfer it. So since nobody else is clocked in, and we're going to split an item. This time we're actually going to transfer an item to a new check that is already open. We're going to take everything here, those 3 items, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to, oops, I hit the wrong button there. We're going to go and do that again. We're going to add them to a tab that's already open. So we're going to change this one to check number 9. So now it has been moved to ticket number 9 that's already been opened, and we have transferred those items. So if we go to all tabs, we're going to go ahead and hit the search button. We're going to just search it by ticket number 9. It's going to pull that up. There we go. Those items have been moved to that tab, and we have access to pay it, transfer it, and close out that tab. We're going to hit the update button on there, and we're going to check the service charge button here. So one more thing that we have at this location, go ahead and add a whole bunch of drinks here real quick, is when you add them when it automatically gets added up to $50, so we're going to, it automatically adds gratuity to the ticket. So if we hit the pay button, you'll see here that fees and charges have been added to it of $15 for the automatic gratuity. We're going to hit that service charge button, and you'll see 20% gratuity has automatically been added once that dollar amount goes over $50. So we can take off the gratuity, we can change it to a service charge, or we can do both if we so desire. If we hit pay now, you will now see the fees and charges have the 20% and 30% added to them, and the service and gratuity. So we're going to go ahead and hit cash on this one. We're going to go ahead and take a receipt. Payment has been made. It has been tracked in the system. We're going to hit done, and we're going to get out of that tab. Let's say we made a mistake on that tab. We need to find it again. We're going to hit all checks. We're going to hit the close tabs, and we know that it was the last one there that we did, number 9. We're going to go ahead and hit update on this so that we can edit it. We're going to go ahead and hit the pay button, and then we'll be able to click the cash payment here and void that payment. So we're going to remove that payment. Now we can retake tender, modify this check however is needed. We voided that, and now we can move on to another payment. We'll hit cash again and no receipt. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a whole bunch of items to a tab from start to finish. So if we want to go to our tab, we're going to go ahead and name this one Red Hat Guy. Just for the namesake, we've got Red Hat. We're going to go ahead and do our daily special. We're going to do Derek on the beach. We're going to add a Dirty Mind. We're going to go head back to the bar. We're going to go and hit our cocktail. Rum, and a special. Here we have to select our size mods because we have force mods added to it. We're going to select the 1.5 ounce, and we're going to do a Red Bull bump, and then we're done. So now we've quickly added some items to that tab. You can go ahead and pay it as a quick pay, selecting the payment option. We're going to say they handed us a $100 bill, and we want no receipt, and done. And this is Toast in a nutshell. And final notes on Toast point of sale. Once we are logged in, we can go ahead and hit this back arrow at the top left. And this gives us some other options. So we can choose table service, which will allow us to serve based on tables at this station. Each one of these stations, you can specifically choose what you want it to use. So table service, we can do a quick order, which will be more for your straight to point of sale system. We have our fast service, which is in beta. We can make this just a payment terminal. So if somebody is standing by the door, this will be the screen that they go through. They find the tabs and make payments as needed throughout the day. The next line, we have some managers. We have our review shifts, time cards. If we want to close out the day, we can close out the day there. It'll pull the reports and the tolls for the day. We also have find checks and issue refunds, which will just take us to the online access, which will be the same as the back access, but you can do it from the station. We can register swipe cards for employees, look up customers. We have a cash drawer feature here, so you can check your drawers, and you have the options that write cash in, cash out. You can close your drawer, you can do your cash drop. So employees can count their drawer, do the cash drop, and then that'll print them a tab saying, here's your over underages. We'll go back here, you have some payout buttons. Again, standard reports, you have all on the back end office to get into those as well. So a little bit of setup options for your menu, you can lay it out. Yep, all this is the exact same, just from the station. So if you need to make some quick edits using a computer and logging in on the back office, but from the system here, just nice ways to track some basic things. So yep, toast in a nutshell. And if you have questions, please let me know and we will dive into more.